Hi folks, Bob Waite, Averill House Vineyard. We're here with Amanda and Rob Duquette, and we getting ready for live music at 1:30. And we love to have our native singers. Of course, you guys moved to Maine,
yeah.
So you know, but that's like northern New Hampshire, you know. It's
pretty much.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go far enough north in Maine, they say that's hardly Maine.
That's hardly Maine, right? Yeah. Like when I grew up in Bangor.
Oh yeah.
And we'd say this is real Maine.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah. Or you go down to Bar Harbor, that's real Maine.
Down east.
Yeah, down east. But you grew up in Hollis?
Yeah, 5 minutes from here.
Yeah,
Hollis.
so cool.
Yeah, Hollis.
You still have family there?
I do. Yes. Yeah, my brother's here in Hollis. Yep. With his family.
Does he play music at all? Or?
He played a little bass when we were kids.
Did he? Oh,
yeah, we had a band around here called Coldfinger.
And
cool. We played all around the area, and we started playing bars in Nashua when I was 15, 16.
Wow.
And I had to stay on the stage because once when you're underage, you can't do anything during the breaks.
Right.
So as some of the guys turned 21, I was one of the youngest, so me and another guy had to hang out of the stage while they went to the bar or whatever. So it was 16 playing in bars was
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Nashua. That's where my grandfather.
We've run into some folks who know that band here.
Yep.
I think the past couple of times.
So cool.
Yeah. I remember.
We played a lot.
Yeah.
And when I joined the band, they were already doing really well, around here. So, but my grandfather played music in Nashua too. So it's kind of tradition.
Wow. Yep. Did you ever play at the high school or
yes.
that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, back when it was now it's the middle school, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I joined the band, they weren't allowed to do the Battle of the Bands because they won it so many years in a row.
Oh, wow.
So when I joined the band, we were the featured artist.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of cool.
That is.
I was a sophomore in high school, and I'm like, wow.
This is a feature artist.
Oh, it was great.
What a great way to launch.
Yeah.
And you play quite a few different instruments, so it's not just guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone around here would know me as a drummer because that's what I did, and that's what I studied. I got my master's degree in performance, jazz drumming, and I've played all the styles, but I was always, down the street here when I was growing up, I had my ear to the radio, and I would play guitar along with it. I'd play keyboards along with it, and so when I started studying classical percussion, I already knew the mallet stuff. So that's what I studied as an undergrad, mallets, all the classical percussion.
So cool.
And so, but I was always strumming the guitar, and the drums were always kind of my main focus, and they still are really.
Right.
You might have heard some of the xylophone on some of the recordings.
I did. Yeah.
That always makes
so the greatest thing in the world for me on music was to find out that you guys are on Amazon. So I was like, what? All these regular artists are actually on Amazon? So I'm on there, making our, Vineyard, selection, playlist. And I was like, this is hard to believe because I didn't realize that. I think Katie Dobbins was the first one that played that I actually went and looked, and I was like, I wonder if there's things on there, and there was. So so now we pull over anybody that plays here. We've got over in our little box of stuff. So
that's great.
Really kind of cool. Where did you guys meet?
Well, technically we met.
Portland was our first meeting, but I went through a thing for a whole year. I wrote a song. It's a birthday song, just a celebration. I wrote for a particular person, and then I started performing it whenever someone had a birthday. Instead of singing "Happy Birthday," I would sing that because it's kind of a thoughtful wish for all.
It's a great song.
That's awesome.
So for a whole year, I decided I was going to send that to all my Facebook friends on their birthday.
So
for a whole
we had
year,
some mutual friends. So I happened to receive his birthday video, and I thought, oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
I thought he was just sending it to me, though.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize.
Some people thought that.
I didn't realize that he sent it to everybody. So I eventually reached out and was like, hey, that was really sweet, And then we had coffee and we just talked about music.
Realized that we did the same thing. We did a lot of the same things. So we decided to meet at Miss Portland, the diner in Portland. That's where we met.
We became friends.
Did you guys ever run into each other when you were at venues?
We may have.
Oh, isn't that funny?
We may have.
Yeah. What's really strange is we'll think like he's a bit older than me, but we'll find out that we were like at the same places, just a little bit behind.
Yeah, like a week or month or So
because
cool.
I spent a lot of time in Boston, but even that during that time when I was living in Boston, I would come up and I'd play Portland since the 90s, early 90s on. And and I didn't move there till 2002.
Wow.
And since that time, we've been at the same venues and same scene. It's not a huge music scene, you know? It's a good one.
But it is amazing. So, you know, some of the other artists, they know of each other, but literally have never met. So
we're always working.
We have one of the gals, Jackie, just went to school in Nashville, and Katie Dobbins, who's here quite often, they've never met, but Katie went to Nashville to do like a singer's writing thing.
Sure.
But of course, Jackie came back, so they still never met. You know, but they talked to each other. You know,
right.
And she like hooked her all up to the right places. So it's kind of cool. You know, it's like big family.
It's funny because when I was at UNH studying music, my best buds were drummers. We all hang out. We'd help each other out, and it was a really great environment there. But once we graduated, we never saw each other because we were always
working.
We never would play in the same band together. So we'd have to get together for coffee or something just to see each other because I'd be playing over at this club, he'd be in Boston, I'd be in New York, and you know.
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
And you've got your own stuff going on, which is really cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, we were just talking about this on the way down here that our first collaboration as Duquette was Duquette and Dancer.
Oh, okay.
Because I grew up. I actually grew up in Averill, Mass.
Oh yeah.
And I went to school for dance, and so I had been choreographing and dancing. And then when I met Rob, I had been a few years. I had kids, and I was, you know, kind of doing some other stuff. And then I listened to the Trust the Night album, and I was completely inspired to choreograph again.
Oh, so cool.
So I made a video of We're All Going, of my choreography to one of his songs, and then
blew my mind.
That's awesome.
And he was like, "No one's ever done that before."
I've always been so amazed by like Fred Astaire and all the great dancers. I've always loved that. I've never been able to pursue it or do it myself. But like when I saw the video, I was just like, wow, it's just a whole new dimension to the song.
So we added the dance aspect to some of the shows, some of the band shows.
Yeah, we were doing that for a while.
And we did that for a while. And,
that's really cool.
Yeah, and then the past couple of years, I just started singing again.
And when did it transition to when you were doing the children thing?
Well, we've both.
We did that first.
Yeah, we
did that first.
Almost always been doing children's music.
That's kind of when we met. We both realized that. Wow, you do kids music. Oh, look at that.
I do kids. What do you do? You know.
And we didn't really collaborate right away either because we didn't. Neither of us wanted to really. We're like, no,
you got your own thing.
We realized that my take on children's music was really centered around parents and young children. And Rob's really reached the slightly older kids. You know, like kindergarten to like fifth grade.
K to 5.
They would really respond to him.
More active.
I could go to schools and I'd have the whole K to 5, and I'd be able to kind of.
So when we started collaborating, put that together, now we can. It's just for everybody. You know, so parents can come with kids of all ages, and
it's been amazing.
Have a blast.
It's been amazing.
And then this is morphed to the magic. I can never say it right, but
so music and magic
of Maine.
Of Maine. Yep. Because we've both been in Maine for over 20 years. Yeah, we've both been in Maine for over 20 years. So, but in 2009, I had a friend of mine pass away, and he was an incredible musician. And he always talked about how he never had access to instruments as a kid. And so when he passed away, he was such a magical person. I really wanted to try to do something to keep his music and his magic alive. So we just started collecting used instruments. Someone would have a drum set they weren't using anymore, or a clarinet that a kid went away to college and they weren't playing anymore. We started collecting them, and then people would say, "Oh, my kid really wants to play, but I can't afford." And this was up in Oxford County where our friend Dan passed away.
I can absolutely tell you that was a challenge. It wasn't going to be be, a flute or clarinet. It was going to be a recorder, because, at least in my family, that's, it was, you didn't have the money.
Right.
It was single parent.
Yeah. Totally.
There's no extra cash.
And the schools don't have the funding to make sure that the instruments in the band, in the band room are even, up to playable conditions.
Right.
So we started just giving individual kids instruments that we collected.
And that was 2009.
That was 2009.
Oh, wow.
She started that well before.
So
that's just been growing and growing. I mean, it started with, like I'd do 2 or 3 kids, every couple months. And then it got to be this huge thing where now we do these great instrument giveveaves.
That's
where
awesome.
we do an instrument drive and we collect hundreds of instruments, and then we rent a school and we have families come in and they get to just choose from whatever we can collect.
And then once the kids are done, the school teachers come in, the music teachers come in,
right? Once
load up on woodwinds and brass
for their
percussion,
nice,
because they're often in the same position where they have students that can't rent, they can't, so it beefs up their program. It's great.
That's really cool. Are there any volunteers that help tune them? Have you? That volunteer.
No, the big one, we had a couple.
But we did have
helpers, but they were more like they knew about woodwind and brass. So I was kind of going around tuning and I got to put a string on here and
So if they're up in southern Maine and they want to help tune some stuff, you guys would be up for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would be pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, we've had you guys here several times. We were this spot opened up and we were like really excited that you could squeeze it in. So that was really cool, especially during the summer. You play at a lot of different venues. What has been like your favorite all-time venue?
Oh, venue.
After this place, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This place. Then, like I used to play at One Longfellow Square in Portland. I like that place.
What
have we done recently? We also have a full band, so that depends on the venues as well. We have a great guitar player by the name of Randy Roos. A lot of people will recognize that name, and John Cumnick on bass. Some people would recognize that name too.
I'm gonna tell the truth. Our favorite venue is our house.
The house,
It's called the Great Green Room, and we do very small.
So now that answers that question because I keep seeing that and I'm like, what is this Great?
It's our house. So we bought a house in 2019 in Biddeford, and it's in a great location. It's right up the street from downtown.
And Biddeford's turned into a real artist community and really cool scene there. Now.
So we converted the 2 big rooms. Well, when we first bought the house, we had 4 kids living with us. So now we're down to 2. So we've had a little more space.
And in the fall it'll be 1.
And
My son is taking. He's following my footsteps. He's going to be a jazz drumming major. He got a scholarship for UNH as well. So that's where I got my undergrad.
Wow.
So we'll just have 1 in the fall next month.
So we took the 2 front rooms, and Rob said, "What if we tore a wall down?" So I got out the sledgehammer and we tore the wall down. And
we were thinking maybe we'll do it in the spring. And then I think I had a couple gigs. I come home and she's already knocking the wall down. So by that spring, we actually started classes, and
so we do some music classes, and then but it's also a venue.
We have family classes, ensembles where the kids come and they learn songs and play in a group and all that.
What a neat camaraderie.
Our kiddo that's going to UNH, he's got his band practicing today.
Right now, probably
at the house
So
because
cool.
they have a gig next Saturday. We're going to do a kickoff to college concert.
Kickoff to college. I love it. That's really cool. All right, so that's the best one. I love it.
Yeah, but after that, it's got to be here.
Hey, we appreciate that.
We've had our family's been able to come here.
I know. I got to meet your dad. That was so cool.
And that was his last time coming out.
Oh wow!
To a place because he had his So that was
really cool.
Yeah, it was really.
He was so excited. He was. You just see it in his face.
Yeah, Rob's parents are huge supporters of this music.
Oh my gosh!
We just saw his mom a few minutes ago, and she's like, "Go! Don't be late."
That's awesome.
They were, it as I was coming up in my 20s and doing shows around New England, they'd when they could come to a show, they were always the first one there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my parents are here already.
Yeah.
And of course, it's such a great memory now.
Yeah.
It's very supportive.
Yeah. And now we got my mom and my aunts
I was bashing away on
That's
drums.
awesome. Yeah.
I was bashing away on drums, just down the street when I was a kid. From when I was 12 or so. So
it's pretty
put
amazing.
up with that, all those years.
My of all of my family, my younger brother, my youngest brother, he's one of those guys that you just whistle a song to him and he just grabs any instrument and plays it. It doesn't matter what it is. Give him a trombone. He's got it covered.
That's wild.
And he's not. We never had. There wasn't enough money to spend on sending somebody to music school.
Right.
They're just not in my family, but so he's dug in and learned all this stuff. And then later we found out that the bulk of us, the kids, have dyslexia.
Oh, wow.
So when you're writing music, it all looks pretty good until the next morning. When you go back and you're like, what? Who wrote this? So
but music is a language he understands.
He can put it together. From listening to it just one time, and then he can move through the whole song.
My daughter, See, that makes sense to me.
She plays violin, and she just hears something, and she can just improvise. And
she's incredible. Luke too. They're both really amazingly talented. Their mom was a music teacher, and I was always doing music, so they were in trouble. They were. But although my daughter,
from both sides.
My daughter's studying to be an art teacher. She wants, because she's a beautiful artist. And speaking of that, your brother, what you're saying, see, that makes sense to me, because I understand from as far as my memory goes back, I remember hearing something on the radio and just picking it out on the keyboard because it just made sense to me. I didn't understand why everyone couldn't do that. But when I see somebody drawing or painting a beautiful portrait, that makes no sense to me at all. I'm just like, how is that possible?
I'm totally there. When I see somebody like what you do with the choreographing, I would have you couldn't even ask me where to start. I would have no idea. I could tell you what I want the whole thing to be.
Look like,
but I would never be able to tell you where to begin.
I think the last time that I was here, last time we were here, I played the bass, the U bass. And that has been really interesting for me because I didn't grow up playing instruments.
Oh, okay.
But as a dancer, Rob's been teaching me bass, and it's just it's natural because it's
her rhythm
is where I know where the sound needs to be. I just had to get my hands to do what the rest of my body already knows what to do. But it's really interesting how how all the arts are.
And that goes into our music teaching as far as feeling the music in your body, because as a dancer, she's got perfect rhythm, but she's also got perfect pitch, which I never say that because perfect pitch isn't something a lot of people have. It's not a great thing,
right?
Because if you hear something out of tune or something, it drives you crazy.
You want to try to correct it,
But that's what happens to her, and not only that, but she'll start songs without me, and she's always in the right key. So as a musician, what you develop is a relative.
Because I only know a few keys.
But you develop relative pitch, as a musician. So you have one note, and you know how the other notes are
from it,
relative to that. Whereas perfect pitch, you have that somehow. You know exactly. You hear a C and you go, "Oh, that's a C." It's not normal.
So you don't want to be in a band with me because I'm like, that's not right.
It's really.
Let's try it again.
It's grating, I guess. Right? I mean,
That's when you're getting the group together, that's got to be really interesting because you've got 4 or 5 artists. They're accustomed to playing their own style. And you're going to blend them all in somehow and not have them, beat each other up.
Well, the band is great because
it's so cool. These guys have been around for a long time, and they are absolute pros.
So they
love Rob's music.
That's awesome.
You can tell when they're playing it that they're resonating with it.
They're feeling the lyrics and they're feeling the music.
They just bring out.
And they're absolute legends.
That's so cool.
They have no right. I have no right playing with them. They played with like David Bowie, Cyndi Lauper.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Randy Roos has played with all the jazz greats. From John Scott to Mike Stern and Steve Swallow, all my heroes. He's been teaching at Berkeley since the 80s.
So cool.
So and they're both like 20 years older than I am. So I'm kind of like. They're like my mentors, but I'm also the band leader.
Right. Yeah. So what a transition,
I'm going to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
I have all your records, Randy, but can you do this on this section here?
That's really.
Our world kind of works like that too, because when we started the winery, it was just me and Beth. And I was making the wine, and nobody really wanted to do anything. Nobody wants to be up at midnight stirring grapes. Nobody. Right. That's what had to be done, so that's what I did. And then Beth got when we got ready to get the tasting room open. She got a couple of her friends, Shantae and a couple other friends over, and they cleaned the whole place out. So, we got rid of all the stuff that, the pool table, all that stuff, and then started redoing the winery. And then one by one, as business started to get busier, we planted the grapes and stuff. Stephanie came on as the marketing director, so she does all the farmers markets and stuff, which we just don't have enough time to do. So you need that person. And then Jake, who initially could care less about wine, didn't drink at all. He's actually become the head winemaker, and so it's really neat to see that collaboration and see them work through that as things have grown. So kind of cool. Kind of cool. Now I'm stuck doing paperwork all day long. I was like, how that ever happened, I have no idea.
I've taken on that role.
Oh yeah, it's a brutal role.
As long as he keeps writing songs and I'll do the booking. I'll work on the website. I'll make sure the
whatever hours she puts in for that, I put in for practicing and writing.
I got it.
It's a good team. It's a good team. You need all the you
need all the pieces.
It all has to work together.
That part's not a big deal initially, but once you start getting all these things, and basically you guys have 3 individual businesses.
Right. Exactly.
So that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
It is.
In general.
But we get to do music.
You do.
Every day.
Which is so
all
cool.
Day.
Yep.
As a career. For our lives.
That's all I ever wanted.
We're so grateful every day.
And I've been full time since the 90s. When I got done at UNH, and because I took time off. And I was in Boston and studying with Alan Dawson and different people, and then went back to UNH from like 95 to 98. So as of 98, I've been full time.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, doing music. It's been amazing.
So would you? So obviously the entertainment part is really cool, but I am looking at it on my side. I would imagine that it would be hard to survive just on that alone.
I was taught private lessons too, and I was also at UNE for almost 20 years. I taught world music, African drumming, American popular music.
Oh, so cool.
And I've always had private students, but it's just been that and gigs my whole career.
But now we're at a place where our projects are successful enough that teaching is something that we do like a little bit.
Nice.
Where we just get to do, with our kids' music, we're at schools and preschools and centers, all over every day.
That's really
and
cool.
then fairs and festivals and theaters. And so those
and same with Duquette.
And now Duquette is also we're right there.
And we get to kind of be a little more choosy about what we want to do with Duquette as well, because I did spend some of my career doing bars and things that I didn't maybe necessarily love to do. I never minded it because it was making money, and I always thought of it as skill building. Like I always kind of practice as well and try to get. I'm a practicer, anyways, but now we're really able to kind of pick and choose what we want, what feels right.
Well, you're
to
building
us.
your brand too. It's almost advertising in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, you're physically there, but
and giving back to the community is really important too. So like we still do, like tomorrow we do the an assisted living facility.
So cool.
So we have a few of those with the grown up music. Because Rob he's like a jukebox. Like he's got all these when we say all time music, it's because the influence is all times. pick a time and he'll have a song that he knows from that, or the influences have come through in his own music. And so getting to kind of choose those places.
That era. And
I kind of feel like I never fit in high school because until I joined Coldfinger, but because I was never into one genre. I was always listening to really pop music because I love pop music, but I was really deep into jazz, classical music, and world genres. I was really into starting with reggae and then on to African music and North Indian music. All that stuff. I got really heavy into the Caribbean stuff, Brazilian. So, at that age, you're defined by what you listen to. I was always into Zeppelin, so that was always my in.
But conversation, right?
Right. But you're almost more defined by the artists that you listen to. He's into Pink Floyd, and you can sum up half the stuff about that person because they're into the Floyd.
Right. Yeah. You're there. That's so cool. Yeah. And as partners, you guys are together all the time.
Yes.
So how does that work? Do you separate and go to the closet and read a book? Or
we were just talking about that.
Actually, I'm a book reader, so I do need my time at home. At home, I need to get
in the early mornings. He has like alone time, like early in the mornings, and
that's me. I would get up a half an hour earlier just to read a book.
Well, my mornings are for practicing and exercising. But throughout the day, I always got to sneak off. I'm still a student of music. I'm just like, I always feel like, I'm finally getting somewhere. I've been playing music professionally for 30 plus years, and I feel like I'm starting to get this, but so I'm still a student, so I practice every day a lot, and I study, so I'm always listening to things and checking out and trying to learn this thing and this new scale or something, so that's what I do in the mornings.
It's getting a little weird that we're together so much, because like this morning we both had the same thought about the dog. Like the dog, we were just had like, it was just a random thought, but we were both like, whoa, like we might be spending way too much time together, because we were like reading each other's mind in a moment. So I'm
going to take a vacation for a week. I didn't tell you yet, but I'm going to go down to the Caribbean for a week.
That is awesome.
No, it's great. Luckily, we know how to like read each other enough to know, okay, let's just time to go for a walk.
So, obviously you guys are living proof that you can, make a living from music, because there's a lot of people that start and then just crash. My brother would have been an awesome musician, but he wasn't able to, derive an income from it. So, you had to switch over and do another career. And I think there's probably more of that than people just chasing their music.
Original music. Like that's the key.
Your stuff.
Because
as much as I love playing covers, that the songs that resonate with me, the original music is what's always mattered to me. I even played with Jonathan Edwards, one of my heroes. I was in his band for 5 years, and playing his music was a joy, and becoming really good friends with him, and we're like brothers now, and like, but when I left that group, it was just like my stuff. And occasionally I'd be in a situation where like, it's a wedding, I'll do some Beatles or something. I love the Beatles. So that's all good, but like, but it's the original music.
Making a career out of doing original music. That's the hardest thing,
And I write different genres too. So like I write the pop stuff, but I write jazz.
It's really not easy to market.
That's the problem.
I can't find is it
And plus it's a duo or it's a band, and there's a million bands. So not only and I think it's really easy to get out there and play gigs if you do a specific thing, like maybe if you sound like REM or something, and beautiful band, I love REM, but if you sound just like a certain thing and you can pigeonhole it easily, it's easy almost, but when I write a song that's almost like a bossa nova, inspired by Jobim or whatever it is, and then I have a pop song, and then I have kind of a
put it all on one album. It's like
it's awesome.
And I've done that from the beginning, you know. I just
and as an audience goer, you're like, wow, this is great.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah.
But to try to get into a room, you know, that's why places like here have been really awesome.
Yeah, you know our thing. We want to hear you. If I hear another Beatles tune sung by somebody else, you know, I just it doesn't do anything for me. You know? I want to hear what you guys are about. You know, so when we're looking from a winery's perspective, you know, you don't want to come and get a wine that tastes exactly like everyone else's wine. That's not our goal. Our goal is to have something that came from us, that has a creative flavor that we derived. You know, and it's the same. We do get traditional grape juices, and you know, we have reds and things, but we're always looking for the red that comes from some little place north of northern Italy that nobody else gets. You know,
that's why we create, right? That's why we create.
Yeah, you're always looking for something fun, but
and it hasn't been easy to get to this point.
It's been a lot of work.
There was a couple of years where we
like I said, I spent
really hard.
I spent hours a day practicing and writing and working on stuff. You know, still I haven't stopped. You know, I hope I never do, because I feel like, wow, if I could get. I got how many years left? What can I do in those years? Like, and I'm trying desperately, because we're so busy with gigs. Trying desperately to make another recording. Because I've got millions of songs that are ready to go. Some millions that are not done. And
what's
we want to do
the time commitment for you when you actually do recordings? What's the lead up?
It all depends, because I did demos during COVID. Okay. And a lot of I did kid songs and I did Duquette demos. The demos for the kid songs, I basically turned that into an album that we released whenever it was. So that was lucrative. But time wise, it's hard. It's never the same. Like right now, I have some stuff done, like basic tracks, and then but like there's one song that I wrote years ago that I can't get it out of my head, so I'm rearranging it on guitar, so that can take another month. I don't know, like and then once I get the drums and the acoustic guitar down, I send it to the guys, and they add their bass in the guitar, the electric guitar.
That's so cool,
as I do the acoustic, you know. So it's all
a lot, but we do have the recording.
The actual recording is quick.
Home now, so
cool.
that's been
right. And the actual recording is quick. When I know what I want to do, I lay it down, boom, add the guitar, okay, boom, get it. But it's just the time to get it and get the song arranged.
That's awesome. I would love to stay all day with you guys. We'll certainly do another one of these later. But you've actually got to play music.
Don't let the boss know. We're chit-chatting.
Thanks, folks, for joining us. Once again, I'm Bob Waite, Averill House Vineyard, and Rob and Amanda are going to kick it off here in a minute.